Blast that like button into another dimension with promises of healing it for a quick Zenkai boost, before laughing in its face for thinking it was a Saiyan. What's up, everyone? For what I think is a first in our community, today's story is its own multiverse within the Dragon Ball multiverse that isn't Dragon Ball Multiverse. Several authors and artists have come together with their own original characters and stories to create a branching ethos. Think the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but with Dragon Ball. The first manga I covered in this series was The Legend of Zuno, which you can find in the link below. Episode of Akio revolves around the Saiyan monk Su Akio, as the title suggests, and how he came to be recruited by the Time Patrol. We owe our thanks to artdawgsama over on Instagram and Twitter for his hard work. So give that man and everyone else involved in this project your support. At the Time Nest, the light crackle of the almost still water sends a peaceful vibration through the air. From near the nest itself, a voice asks, "You want me to recruit this guy?" Cronoa, the Supreme Kai of Time, happily tells that is the case. She explains his name is Su Akio, a disciple of a friend of hers from the early days of the Time Patrol. He had asked her to reach out to Akio when she felt he was ready, again questioning if the person she's speaking to can go get him, who is actually elated to. Meanwhile, outside of a beautiful waterfall, a Saiyan sits quietly gathering his thoughts. He apologizes to his master, admitting while this place is indeed beautiful, it is too shrouded in darkness. Standing, he avows to his master, Shunsei, he will find the perfect place to construct their temple, and he will be sure to do so in a hurry. What could the story of this young Saiyan be? With his Zen-like demeanor and multicolored hair, we'll surely learn more in time. Akio traveled far and wide to search for the perfect spot to construct his people's temple. From the Diablo Desert, Break Wasteland, and the Mushroom Forest, he couldn't find exactly what he was looking for. Though, he did have some fun and meet some interesting people along the way. Even helped a few and had a couple mini adventures. Going through his usual self-reflection regimen, he begins to think what his next quote or proverb should be about. Perhaps something regarding rocky environments? When an explosion catches his attention. Androids 19,000 and 8,000 are seen wreaking destruction nearby, believed to have been created by a clone of Dr. Gero and aligned to the Timebreakers and Red Pants Army. They originally belonged to the lore of Dragon Ball Online, though in that iteration, there are many variations of these two machines. Will that prove true in this story as well? Needless to say, 8,000 does not share the same soft-hearted sentiment as his original counterpart, and neither will hesitate to kill their enemy. Fortunately, Akio doesn't hesitate either. He scoffs a couple androids right outside a village of innocent people doesn't exactly go together. Beseeching they explain what they're up to, but not really the most linguistically adept. 8,000 only responds, "Enemy contact, eliminate." Sure enough, this just about proves this concern correct. It appears androids can indeed easily be tempted into violence, prompting him to offer a quote, wondering what would be a good one. He, somewhat unassuredly, thinks up an old guru saying, "An angry robot makes the battery overheat." After a brief pause, he asks what they think. In short, they don't seem to approve. Now upgraded to Super Saiyan, Akio jests. "Not a fan of that one. That's fine. I'm not so big a fan of shady guys who lurk on the innocent." Going onto a shore, he doesn't encourage violence, but he has enemies with those who wish to harm the life he has sworn to protect. As the brawl lingers on, all warriors involved find themselves winded when a voice calls out from mere feet away. He asks the Saiyan below if he's Akio, while a dead ringer for Goku. Not everything is always as it appears. With a smile, he informs he's been looking everywhere for him, introducing himself as Sun Phone. He's glad to have shown up when he has. But Akio only warns to get away from here. This fight is far too dangerous for mere bystanders. His words cause Phone to grimace. As with him, it's at least 2-on-2 now. Giving his new friend a taste of what he's capable of. He's ready to finish these guys off as a team. This revelation turns around Akio's previous stance, resolving he doesn't know who this guy is, but appreciates his bravery. They get into position to quickly put an end to the skirmish.
2 enemies detected. Must eliminate.
The pair expend little effort in taking advantage in the battle. Tying them together, Akio is concerned this won't be enough to hold him, but Phone urges him not to worry, they'll be coming back with him anyway. Which begs the question, what's the deal with these two? Phone goes on to offer a bit of exposition. The two androids before him are known as Time Breakers. Their goal is to disrupt specific events in time and gather energy from powerful warriors. They're a loose faction attempting to destabilize history throughout the multiverse. He compliments Akio how amazing it is he was able to hold his own against them. Being the reserved monk he is, he simply responds he only does his best. When Phone requests he come with him to somewhere, the stranger danger setting in, he questions where that may be. He explains it's to the Time Patrol in Canton City. That's the entire reason it came looking for him in the first place. Going on to give a brief 101 on who the Time Patrol is and what they're about. Turns out, Master Shunsei held such a position himself, and it was his last wish for Akio to be recruited as well. Sun Phone promises not only this, but joining would open up all sorts of new opportunities. Asking, what do you say? Without hesitation, the monk believes this will be the perfect chance to find a place to build his temple. Shaking hands, the Time Patrol gains its newest ally. Akio thanks him for honoring his master's final wish. Without him, he would have never known what he truly wanted. Phone only chuckles he not get too mushy. Scared he might start to cry, he assures it's no sweat. Just now noticing his clothes have been tattered from the battle, the recruiter warns he can't leave looking like that. But luckily, Akio made a spare. Sending Phone into a flurry, he made that complex gi. With a flash, they immediately arrive to their destination. The monk awestruck at the sight before him. His new mentor smirks. Pretty cool, isn't it? Welcoming him to the Time Patrol headquarters, Canton City. A place loaded with different Time Patrollers of various races and timelines, like the Frost Demons, along with other Saiyans. Even crazier beings such as Majins and super underrated Necomajins. Namekians and other races too. It's quite a diverse place. Many locations even resemble the homeworlds of some of the inhabitants. Casually walking around showcasing select areas, Phone tells the Time Patrol help maintain order across all of time. There are two people in charge of Canton, and today they're going to meet one of them. She watches over the entire flow of time, exclaiming she's the bigwig around here. This brings Akio to presume she is the one who sent him to come recruit him. Which is exactly right. Introducing him to Cronoa, who is happy to see the newbie. She greets him with a smile, informing she is the Supreme Kai of Time. Although Akio finds this reveal a bit jarring, as we know, she is a deity who's been around for over 75 million years. Initially just a regular Kai, Cronoa was rivals with Mechakabura to claim the title of Supreme Kai of Time itself. But that's an entirely different story. He stutters to return the salutation, assuring it's an honor to meet her. She cuts to the chase, confident he has many questions. And that's true. His first wanting to know if she knew Master Shunsei, which she did. And he left all of this to him, excitedly asking what she means. This patch of land is his inheritance. Furthering that Shunsei was an amazing warrior, a wise Time Patroller, and an excellent friend from the early days of the Time Patrol. Although he had his ups and downs, he always kept his head up. He was constantly on the move when there was action to be taken. A long time ago, he told Cronoa that he had taken on a pupil, a young Saiyan child with massive potential, and requested she recruit him when it became clear he was ready. Shunsei was very wise, something that Kaio has no doubt was passed on to Akio. It's obvious to her he trusted his disciple here with all of his hopes and dreams, confiding he was very proud of him. Turning away, this silences the monk for a moment, before addressing both Cronoa and Phone by name. Tears streaming from his eyes, he again thanks the duo for honoring his master's wishes, promising as a Saiyan warrior and Time Patroller, he too will do his best. Finding a new home, in many different senses, in Canton City. What future adventures await Akio, and how will a Zen-like background affect his potential, if at all? With no time like the present, he decides to get to work, leaving us with our first glimpse of his temple. With what appears to be a fighting arena in the center, what unique training could he have to offer potential students? Remember to find out in the expanding story of Dragon Ball XV. And also that I'm dragging this video out to over 10 minutes as a personal goal, and YouTube changed their monetization setting from 10 minutes to 8 minutes about 6 months ago.